How to estimate rehab cost on a home. As a real estate investor, if you are unable to accurately estimate the repair cost on a home, you will be clueless as to whether or not you will make money or lose money if you were to buy that home. In other words, you won't be able to make good offers. That's why I'm making this video. I'm gonna teach you exactly how to estimate the renovation cost on any home. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Justin, you're wrong. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I've made hundreds of videos teaching people about real estate, money, and self-development. And the goal of this channel is to help you grow your money and your mindset. Also, if you don't already, follow me on Instagram at JustinYou'reWrong. The one time I lost money in real estate was because I incorrectly estimated the rehab cost. This was 3 years ago before I even bought my first deal. But as I was searching for deals, I found this home and it was a triplex in Fresno, California. I actually offered on the home. The offer was accepted. So I got the home in contract, I was in escrow, and initially I had estimated the repairs to be around $25,000. At that time, I had no experience as a real estate investor at all, and I literally just walked through the triplex, all 3 units, and I just said, you know, I don't know, looks like it'll take about $25,000 to fix up. This was me being ignorant. As I was going through that escrow, I brought a contractor out to give me a bid on the home. I wanted to see from the contractor's point of view how much it's gonna cost to fix up that home. And in my head, I was thinking, okay, $25,000. It'll cost me about that much to fix this place up. Well, that general contractor, he gave me a bid of $70,000. He told me that in order to fix up the home to my standards and what I had told him I wanted, it would take $70,000 instead of the $25,000 I had estimated. This was a big issue. And I honestly should have anticipated this from the start, because when I first made my offer, they accepted it right away. And that was a sign to me that I probably offered too much, but I was super confident. I was a brand new investor at the time, and I just said, nah, this is a great deal. And as it turns out, at the price I offered at, it was not a good deal at all. So what ended up happening was that I backed out of the deal. So I never actually bought the home, but I still lost money because I believe I paid $450 for an appraisal and I paid $450 for an inspection or something like that. So I lost $900 on my very first deal that I didn't even buy. And that was the only time I lost money in real estate. And I lost it because I did not know how to accurately estimate the rehab cost. And I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. One of the most simple yet accurate ways to estimate the rehab cost is to utilize the square footage of the home. What I have discovered is that there are different tiers of rehabs. There are more expensive rehabs and there are lighter rehabs. And I'm gonna teach them all to you, but each one is determined by the square footage of the home and a dollar per square foot amount. At the lowest tier, we have something called the cleanup rehab. For the cleanup rehab, you're gonna be estimating somewhere between $5 a square foot and $10 a square foot. These are the type of homes that are in very good condition already, where not a lot of things need to be done. It's mostly just a cleanup. So maybe you have to fix up the carpet a little bit, maybe there's some paint touch-ups, maybe there are some light repairs such as light switches or outlets or different little things like that. But for the most part, these homes are in great condition and they are ready to be sold at that after repair value. And overall, the home is pretty modern as is. So whenever you're analyzing a deal and the home is in this kind of condition, you're gonna be estimating somewhere between $5 a square foot and $10 a square foot for the cleanup rehab. And if you are brand new and you don't know how to gauge whether it's a $5 a square foot rehab or a $10 a square foot rehab, just budget on the higher side just to be safe. And if you don't understand what I mean by this $5 a square foot or this $10 a square foot, let me explain it real briefly. Let's say when you're analyzing a deal, you want to budget for the repairs of $10 a square foot for the cleanup rehab. Then let's say that the home is 1,000 square feet. That means if you want to get the rehab estimate, you take 1,000 square feet of the home and you multiply it by $10 a square foot. That totals to $10,000 for the rehab estimate. So that's the first tier, the cleanup rehab. The next tier of a rehab is the lipstick rehab. For the lipstick rehab, you're gonna be estimating $15 a square foot. This type of rehab is slightly more extensive than the cleanup rehab. The general idea for the lipstick rehab is to keep as many of the existing items in the home as possible and then just updating them or making them a little bit nicer. And these things can even be as simple as painting over the kitchen cabinets or even refinishing the wood floors. And if that doesn't really make a lot of sense for you, think of actual lipstick. So if you put lipstick on your lips stay the same. So you're keeping the things that are already there, the lips, and you're just putting lipstick on it. You're just covering it. You're painting over it. That same concept is going to apply for these lipstick rehabs. You're just keeping what's there, making them nicer. You're not really replacing much. And again, you're budgeting $15 a square foot. So if a home is 1,000 square feet and the lipstick rehab is $15 a square foot, you are going to be budgeting $15,000 for that lipstick rehab. And one thing I want you to keep in mind, not just for the lipstick rehab, but for all the rehabs, is that whenever you're renovating a property, the goal of renovating the property is just to get it up to the condition of the comps. So for example, if the current property that you're analyzing has tile countertops in the kitchen, and in your eyes, you're thinking, oh, that's so outdated, that's so old, I gotta get rid of that and I gotta replace it with quartz or granite or whatever it is. And the thing I'll say about that is look at the comps first. So look at other similar properties that have sold, otherwise known as comparable properties, to gauge your ARV, what the home is going to be worth after fixing it up. And if you notice that all of the comps that you're using to determine the ARV also have tile kitchen countertops, then you likely don't need to upgrade the kitchen countertops. Because if you want to be efficient with your money in your renovations, all you need to worry about is copying the comps. You simply have to bring your current property up to the level and the standard of the comps. That's it. Nothing less, nothing more. Another thing I want you to keep in mind, particularly with the lipstick rehab, is you have to know what price point you're at. You have to know what type of home you're in. So if you're looking at an entry-level home, which are the homes that first-time home buyers likely will be buying, then I'm sure you can get away with a lipstick rehab. Just refinishing certain things, keeping the cabinets as is, keeping things for the most part the same. But if you are looking at a luxury home, so a home on the higher end of the market, it's going to be a lot harder to get away with a lipstick rehab. You're likely gonna have to spend a lot more for these luxury projects to get those higher sale prices. The next tier of rehab is called the full interior rehab. And in my personal experience, you should estimate somewhere between $20 a square foot and $25 a square foot. And I think that this will largely depend on your individual market. But the basic premise of this rehab is that you replace everything. So different than the lipstick rehab, because as we know, in the lipstick rehab, we're trying to keep as much as we possibly can and then refinish certain things or paint up things, refinish floors, stuff like that. With the full interior rehab, you're trying to replace everything. So if you have the kitchen cabinets, you want to replace it, put new ones in. You're going to replace the flooring, you're going to replace the countertops, you're going to replace the bathroom vanities, everything in the house you want to update to modern standard. That's what the full interior rehab is. And when you're making these repair estimates, keep in mind that it also depends on what's already in the house, what's already existing there. If the kitchen doesn't have cabinets, well, you can't do a lipstick rehab because there's nothing to refinish. There's no cabinets to paint over. You have to get new ones. And similarly, let's say the kitchen cabinets are just shot. They're there, but they're horrible. And even if you were to paint over it, it would just look so bad that you have to get new ones. So as you are determining which tier of a rehab makes most sense, just make sure you understand what's already in the home and what's existing. So if a home has 1,000 square feet and you are estimating somewhere between $20 a square foot and $25 a square foot, you're going to be estimating a rehab budget of $20,000 to $25,000, and this will largely depend on your market. I know for my market in Fresno, California, I'm using the $25 a square foot. At first, I did use the $20 a square foot when I didn't really know what I was doing, but as I flipped more and more houses, I've seen that in my market, $25 a square foot for a full interior rehab makes more sense, just based on my past projects. So in my opinion, you can do one of two things to estimate for the full interior rehab. You can either estimate on the higher end to be conservative using the $25 a square foot, like I do, or you can just ask other investors in your area what they estimate for their rehabs and what their rehabs usually cost, just to get a reference. But whatever estimate you choose to use for the full interior rehab, it's going to determine the next tier. For the next tier, we call it the full rehab. Now the full rehab is everything that we discussed in the full interior rehab, plus one big ticket item. And when I say a big ticket item, if you don't know what that is, I'm talking about a pool, an AC, or even a roof. And the way you estimate for the full rehab is you're gonna take whatever you used for the full interior rehab. So for me, I used $25 a square foot for my full interior rehab. And then you're gonna add $5 a square foot to whatever you used prior. So for example, let's say I'm analyzing a deal for myself and the home, in my opinion, needs a full interior rehab. And also I see that the roof is really old and needs to be repaired or replaced right away. I will then estimate $30 a square foot for the rehab. And I get to that $30 a square foot by taking the initial $25 a square foot plus $5 a square foot because of that big ticket item, the roof. Now, like I said before, the big ticket items are mainly gonna be a pool, a roof, or an AC unit. But there are other items that I personally like to budget extra for as big ticket items. And these are things like if I know any foundation repairs need to be made, any big ones, any big electrical changes that need to be made, any big plumbing issues, any holes in the wall or like water damage or mold. These type of things I also count as big ticket items as well. And for any new big ticket item that you are going to anticipate, you just add an extra $5 a square foot. So for example, for that same scenario, if I'm planning to buy a home, analyzing the deal, I notice it needs a full interior rehab, but it also needs a new roof and it needs a new pool or something is massively wrong with the pool, then instead of budgeting $30 a square foot, I'm now budgeting $35 a square foot. And again, I got to that $35 a square foot by taking the $25 a square foot plus 5 because there are two big ticket items that need to be addressed, the roof and the pool. This is exactly how I estimate my repair costs for any home I offer on. Also, if you want to grow your real estate business, whether you're brand new or if you already have deals under your belt, DM me the word coach on Instagram at JustinYou'reWrong. I'll see you at the next one.